Dear all, welcome to this session. Here we're going to learn how we can calculate the frequency distribution using Excel. We will use the following example. A study was done on the growth rate of cultured browns in a farm. The data in following table indicates the mass of 30 browns after 3 months in the pond. So here you can see the data which we have. What is required from you to construct frequency distribution for the data using 20 to 29 as first class? To calculate the class, our classes and intervals, we have to calculate or to find or to decide the lower value in each class and the higher value of each class and the interval of the class. To make our life easy or to make the calculation easier, we need to calculate specific things. First, we need to find the minimum value in our data. How we can do that? For small number of data, like here we have 30 values only, so we can just find it manually. But let's learn how to do everything using the functions. So to calculate the minimum value of the data, we just put equal, we put min, then we can find the function which is min, the minimum. Double click to activate the function, select the data, then click enter. Then it can find for you the minimum value in this data. To calculate the maximum value, also you put equal, max, you will see the functions which start with max, double click on max, then select the data, then enter. You need to keep in your mind that to activate any function in the Excel, the easiest way, you go to the cell, you put equal, then you write the function. So here our first function is equal minimum min, then you select the values. The maximum is equal max, then you select the values. To activate the function, as I mentioned, after you put equal, you select the function, double click on it. The count, here we know our data is 30. We have 30 values, but what if we don't know? Or what if we have big number of data? What we should do, we just put equal, count, count. Double click on it, then you can select the values which you have, then click enter. So we have 30, as we know in the example. How many classes we need to have? If you go to this part of our question, they mentioned that using 2029 as our first class, which means the interval is 10, which is the difference between the lower and higher value in each class. So our interval is 10 values in each class. So not 10 values, it's the difference between the lower value and higher value. So maybe not 10, maybe less or more, but the interval, which is the difference between higher and lower value in the class. So how many classes do we need to have? If you remember, we put this formula last time, we learned it, where the suggested class interval is equal to the highest value minus lowest value divided on number of classes. But if you notice here in our example, we have the suggested class interval, which is 10. We have the highest value, we have the lowest value, but we don't have number of classes. So what we should do, we will just swap between both. So it will be the number of classes is equal to the highest value minus lowest value divided on suggested class interval. So how many classes we have equal? We put bracket, higher value minus lower value. Then we divide on the class interval. Click enter. 5.5 classes, which means almost 6. So to do that, as requested in the example, the first class will be 20 to 29. As we mentioned that the classes should not be overlapped. So it means we have to start with 30 to 39, then 40 to 49, then 50 to 59, then 60 to 69, then 70 to 79. Because as we said, classes is better to be equal to each other. So like this, we have 60 classes. Our data will be divided into 60 classes to calculate the frequency. Lower and higher value, it's needed to calculate the frequency. So instead of we write it like this, the classes, it's better we divide into lower and higher value. So we know this, it will be like this. 60 and 70, and here the 29, 39, and 49, and so on, and 79. Okay, so this is the lower and higher value for each class. So now we want to calculate the frequency. We can do it manually because we have a small amount of data, but what if we have big amount of data? So to calculate the frequency, you have to follow the following, to go with the following steps. First step, you need to select the cells where the frequency should be calculated. So if you notice, I didn't just put here in this cell, I select all cells where the frequency should be calculated. Okay, this is the first step. Second, I go to the function bar, I put equal frequency. Just put FREQ, you will find the frequency function available. So again, I remove. First step, you need to select all the cells where you want the frequency to be calculated. Don't go only in one cell. You have to go to all cells in one shot. Select all cells where frequency should be calculated. You go to the function bar, you put equal frequency, FRE, frequency. Double click on it to activate it, double click. So now you need to select the data array, which is your data. This is our data. Then you put comma. Pins array. Pins, it's the higher value for each class, which is this. So first the data array, which is our data, comma, the pins array, which is the higher value of each class. Here, you don't click enter. You have to click Control, Shift, Enter. Done. You see, it calculated the frequency distribution for each class. I will do it once more. I will delete what I have calculated. Here first, as I mentioned, we calculate the minimum value, maximum value, the count, then we calculated how many classes by putting the maximum value minus the minimum value, dividing on the interval. How we calculate the interval? Based on what is suggested here. As the first class is 20 to 29, so the interval is 10 between the minimum value and higher value of the class. Then we decided our classes, the higher and lower value of each class. So now we want to calculate the frequency of the classes. What we do, first step, we don't select only one cell. We have to select all the cells where we want the frequency values to show. Second step, we go to the function bar, we put equal FRE, we will find the frequency function active. Double click on it to activate it. Then you select the data array where your data is located. Then comma. You select the pins array, which means the higher values of each class of the classes. Then you don't click enter. You put Control, Shift, Enter together. Then you will see how Excel calculated the frequency of each, the frequency of values in each class. This session has finished. Second session, we're going to learn how to draw the histogram, the pie chart, and the polygon. See you coming session. Dear all, welcome to this session. In this session, we're going to learn how we draw histogram using Excel. If you remember in our previous session, we learned how we calculate the frequency distribution for our data using Excel. And now we're going to learn how we present this frequency in a graphical way. Two things we need to keep in mind first. First of all, we have to have the data analysis back in our Excel. So what if we don't have? If you don't have, we go to File, we go to Options, then we go to Add-ins. We select Analysis Toolbar, we click Go to show in our Excel add-ins, then we click OK, restart your Excel, then it will show up in the Data tab. Second, we need to rename our beans values because this name we're going to show in our histogram image or graph. So what we can name it, what we want to show here is we are showing the browse mass. Then, now we need to draw the histogram. What we need to do, we go to any empty cell, we click on it, we go to data, we go data analysis, then we click histogram, put OK. Then you need to fill the required information. What are the required information? First, we go to the input range. We click here, then we select our input range, which is the values. Then, bin range, we click here, we select the bin range, which is starting from the title. We click this to go back. We click labels. We go to the output range. We click here, we select empty cell for the output range because histogram gonna to draw new frequency table. Then we need to click chart output to show the chart. Then we click OK. We will see how this histogram graph being drawn, and you will see here there is more, but we don't want to show the more because the more is 0, has nothing. So you see when you click, okay, I will click out. Now you'll see the difference which I'm explaining. When you click on the graph itself, you will see that is highlighting for you the values. So if you don't want that more to show here, you can just bring your mouse and bring these things up. See? Just hold and press and hold, then go up. You will see more being removed. One more thing. We know that this one is bar chart, not histogram, because histogram, those bars should be attached to each other. So how we can make it? If you click on the bars itself, okay, then you go to the chart design, and then okay, maybe we go to the chart styles. No, it's not this one. Okay, yes. Okay, so to make those bars connected to each other, you can just double click on the bars. Okay, then you go to the series option. It's here. You just the gap width, you just make it 0. Again, this I'll do Ctrl Z. Okay, so how we can make this one as histogram, because as it's showing here is like a bar chart. So you just double click on the bars. You go, it will open for you directly the format data series. It will go to series option itself and go to here. Then you have the gap width. Okay, so you just make the gap width 0. Then you will see how now it become like attached to each other. I want to put separation between it. So you can just go to the filling here. You go to the border. Then you put like color for the border. Let's say we color the border in red color. Then you can see, if you close this one, how our chart become. It's a histogram. The bars attached to each other, but they are also having borders. So like this, we have the histogram. But you are asking yourself that I want to show here not only the highest value, I want to show the entire value, the pin itself. So what should I do? You need just to double click. Sorry, you need to go when you select the graph, you need to go to select data. Then when you go to here, horizontal, the category, you go click edit. Then you select your classes. You see, this is our classes 20 to 21, 30 to 39. You click OK. Click OK here. You'll see how now each one of those bars has its own class. So I'll bring this graph down and make it a little bit bigger. So like this, it's somehow clear, okay? That what is this one, the frequency, the distribution for Brown's mass. This is the values. And we can rename here the Brown's mass frequency distribution. Brown's mass frequency distribution. Yes, that's all. Like this, we are done with drawing the frequency distribution in using histogram. So what if I want to have the polygon? If you select your data and you go to draw, sorry, not draw, we have insert. This is our polygon. We can choose this one. No, sorry, frequencies. Yes. This is our polygon. So to draw the polygon, I will delete the chart again. To draw the polygon, what you need to do, you select the frequency distribution. Then you go to insert, you go to this which is line with markers, and this is the polygon already done. But I want to change those values. So what I do, I select the data. So the horizontal, as I wanted, is the classes, and the legend of the series, I wanted edit frequency. Okay, yes. So now we are done. So yes, this is our polygon of the data. It's showing to you where's the point. This point is the middle of each class, midpoint of each class. So it's showing you how the things is going down, up, then down again. So now I want the bar chart. Bar chart also, I can use it using the frequency. So I just select the frequency, then I can go to insert. I can go to the bar chart. This is my bar chart drawn already. Then I need to edit the data of this bar chart. Let me bring this one here for a while. Okay, this is my bar chart. I want to edit the data, select data. Here, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, I have to put the classes. Then here I put edit, I select the frequency, then okay. So here is the frequency for those values. I can show this here numbers as different things like chart design. I can put some percentage, if you notice. This is the percentage, not the frequencies, okay? Which means 20 to 21 is taking 36% of that total. We have 7 to 79 takes only 7% of that total, and so on. Changing the title can be done easily, and yes, we have everything, a lot of shapes, a lot of things, okay? So this is somehow all the things which we can do using the graphical. You can work on it, you can edit a lot, the coloring, the things. So like this, we learn how to draw the polygon, how to draw the histogram, and how to use the bar chart. So if you have any question, please feel free to contact me. See you in coming session. Bye bye.
Dear all, welcome to this session. In this session, we're going to learn how we can calculate the mean, median, mode, the quartile 1 and quartile 3 using Excel. In this session, I will use same previous example about a study was done on the growth rate of cultured browns in a farm. The data is following table indicate the mass of 30 browns after 3 months in the pond. So here the data which is showing the mass of 30 browns after spending time in the pond. So we need to calculate first number we may need to calculate is the count, which you learned to do it last time, but I will repeat again. So the count we put equal, we put count, C-O-U-N-T, or you just put C-O-U, it will show you what are the functions or equations that with C-O-U. So double click to activate the function, then just select the data. Put enter, then the number show. Then we need to calculate the mean. If you remember, the mean means the average. So the average is a number expressing the central or typical value in a set of data. So how we can calculate the average? You put equal, you put AVE. We will see that it shows us the average. Double click to activate the function, then just select the data. Click enter. Like this, the average of those values is 40.4. The median, if you remember the median, we mentioned the meaning of median is a value that lies in the center of data, where half, or just 50% of the data are greater or equal to this value, and another half is 50% of the data are smaller or equal to this value. So let's put equal, MED, median, double click, and just select the values, enter. Same we do to the mode. The mode, as we mentioned, it is a value which is repeated frequently. The mode, we will have two types. We have mode multi and we have mode single. The mode multi, which means it's giving to us all the values which is repeated frequently. The mode single giving us only one value. So I will try to give you both. Let's select the mode multi and double click to activate the function, then select the values or the data, then click enter. You notice it gives us two values. If we just take the mode single, MOD, we just select the single one, double click to activate the function, then we select the data, then click enter. It shows us only one value. Okay. Here are the average things, which is average, mean, median, and mode. Let's go to calculate the quartile 1 and quartile 3. Sometimes to know about the data, we need to count some numbers like the minimum value, the maximum value, the quartile 1, the quartile 3, and the median value. The minimum value, which is the lowest number, if we put MIN, double click to activate, then we select our data. Then we click enter, it shows us the minimum value. Okay. There is another way to calculate the minimum, which is the minimum is quartile 0. Okay. So if you go, it will be quartile 0, quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 3, then quartile 4. This is the meaning of each one of this. What is the quartile 1? If you remember, it was the first quartile is a positional value where 25% of the data is lower, or the observation is smaller, 75% is larger or is higher. So here when we say quartile 0, which is the lowest one, quartile 1, which is 25% lower, 75% higher, quartile 2, where 50% lower, 50% higher, which is the same definition of the median, quartile 3, 75% is lower and 25% is higher, quartile 4 is the highest value. So the minimum, we mentioned we can put MIN and select the data, and we can also calculate it as quartile 0. We'll put equal quartile. We have quartile excluding and quartile including. Whether it's excluding this value or including this value, normally we go to quartile INC, including. Double click to activate, select the data, then put comma. Here is giving you what to choose. You want minimum value, so put 0. You want first quartile, put 1. You want second quartile or the median, put 2. You want third quartile, you have to put 3. You want the maximum value, you have to put 4. So here we are looking for the minimum value. We put 0, then we click enter. So it gives us same number. To calculate the rest of the quartiles, we can go same movement, which is equal quartile. We put the quartile included, we select the data, then we put comma, the first quartile we put 1, then we put enter, or we can just drag and drop. Okay, so but before you drag and drop like this, you need to consider something. Here in the function you can see that the data is from A3 to A32. If we just drag and drop like here, look what we'll see. The data is from A4 to A33, which is also move the data selection one cell down, which is we don't want. To make this one fixed, or to make these things fixed, you have to select and click F4. So select the cells, select the function, click F4. If you notice when you click the F4, it add the dollar icon next to the name of the cell, the letter and the number. Also here add the dollar icon, then you click enter. So we can now drag and drop. Again, you are having same values. What we should do? For each one, we need to change the argument. Okay? So here the quartile, we are looking quartile 1, so we put 1. Then here we are looking for quartile 2, we put 2. Then here we are looking for quartile 3, we put 3. Then we are looking for quartile 4, we put 4. That's it. So like this calculate. We can again calculate manually. Median, if you remember, we can put equal median, double click, then we can select the cells, then click enter, same value. Quartile 3 equal quartile, sorry, included, and then we put, then okay, look, I just select, I didn't tell the Excel is which quartile, so he doesn't know. You have entered too few arguments for this function. Put okay, then I put comma, I put 3, enter. Same value also for the maximum, max, select the values, then click enter, same values. So like this, we learn how we can calculate the mean, median, mode, quartile 1, 2, and 3 and 4, the maximum value, and all of this for ungrouped data. So let's learn how we can draw the whiskers and plot. We can just select here the values. We go to insert. We go here to this one, insert statistic chart. We select box and whisker. Just click on it and you will see how this one is being reflected. You will notice this is, let me show it to you, how this things, or which one of all of this. Okay, you notice here that this one is the minimum value. Here, this side or this point is the quartile 1. We have here is a median or quartile 2. We have here the quartile 3, and we have here the quartile 4. So that what is this chart explaining to us and showing to us? It's showing same those numbers, but in type of chart. So we can notice that mostly the values going to the lower value. If you notice that this plot is moving down, and sometimes they take it moving left in case the chart is in the horizontal view. So which means mostly the numbers going to the minimum value, not to the maximum rate. Okay, so this is somehow the explanation how we can calculate the count, mean, median, mode, quartile 1, quartile 3, the minimum, maximum values, and how we can draw the plot and whiskers for ungrouped data. And see you for coming session. Bye bye.